Hey there, this is Darren, heading into my meeting room, little tiny breakout session, tiny audience, yet the fee is beautiful. All right, so, sorry the lighting isn't great. Every decision you make, every decision, like 48 hours prior, should all be about the audience. I know, like blah, blah, blah. But seriously, all right, so a couple mistakes. I know the lighting isn't great here, but trying to work with what I have. So I get here 2 days early. I spend an extra day with the client, which is cool. That's a good thing to do. This lighting's horrible too. I spent an extra day with the client, which is cool. And yes, Palmo, I only had a tiny breakout myself on my face during my teen years. So every decision you make 48 hours prior is all about this moment. So I always make it a rule to get to the meeting place, the actual meeting room, an hour and a half early. But let me tell you about a mistake I made. So I came in a day and a half early. So I spent all day yesterday with the client, walking through the hallways, seeing what's going on, hearing the lay of the land, listening to what people are talking about, because I want to tap into that. But I made a classic mistake. I want to get some work done last night, or 2 nights ago, and I thought at dinner time I'd have a cup of tea. You know, it was freezing, and so thought I'd warm up, and then I could work until late. Well, turns out I was too tired to work until late, but I could not fall asleep. So I had a horrible night's sleep. Bad mistake. So what I did do to make up for that is I knew that, sometimes there's those decisions. All right, I could work on my slides a little more, or I could actually go to sleep. So I worked on my slides, worked a little more on my slides, and I went to bed about 9 o'clock because I knew I kind of had to make up for the night before. Because I'm doing 3 90-minute trainings today for some executives from Wells Fargo. So I get to the event meeting room, and I'm here early, which is good, so an hour and a half, and I got my backup remote control, my remote control and my backup remote control at the ready, just in case, you never know, especially because this one is based on rechargeable batteries, so especially for 3 hour-and-a-half sessions. And I have my audio mini disc recorder with my audio recorder. So I want to record them. You never know when it's going to be able to be turned into product as well. So I'm here, screen and my computer are not talking. So a little bit of freaky on that, but they will have an AV staff come in. But I want to be able to make the adjustments to the room. See if we can switch this over. I want to be able to, this is horrible too. I want to be able to make the adjustments to the room before other people show up. So it's easier to beg forgiveness than permission. So sometimes I'll move things around because the people who set up your rooms aren't necessarily speakers. So they don't necessarily know what's important and why and spacing. And I've just seen, not here at this conference, but many conferences, I've seen horrible meeting room setups, like the huge gap between the stage and the first row of the audience. That's horrible. Unless it's a huge stage with thousands of people, that's different. But in a small room, there shouldn't be that gap, that the parting of the Red Sea. But in this meeting room, really small, really not a big deal, but my AV, and I have sound, so I'm trying to get that to work. So I do what I can before I get here, but every decision that you make, like this morning, I will have some tea, but not with cream, because dairy can get your throat cloggy. So every decision you make needs to be about what's best that morning for this audience. After, you can have your hot fudge sundae or something like that. But beforehand, everything you do affects the performance, the connection. You don't want to be too jazzed up. You want to be connected to your audience. So that's one of the reasons I come in a day early, is to spend time with the client, as well as see the lay of the land, make the connections. The AV people, always respect them, make them your hero. Let them know, because a lot of speakers come in and have ego, let them know that they're important. I tell them, you're the most important person in this room, because you're the only one who can mess up my presentation. And they usually smile. But they know that I care. They know, what can I do? Hey, can I get you a cup of coffee? A little thing goes a long way. Respect. Like, they're people. They're like, so many people look down on them. Like, they're your little minions. No. They're part of the team. You're just a part of the team. The event planner is the boss. We're just a part of their event. So for you and me, whether you get rebooked, whether you sell more in the back of the room, whether the client likes you and talks to other people about you, event planners know event planners, speakers bureaus know speakers bureaus. So as soon as I got to the site here 2 days ago, day and a half ago, first thing I did is I texted the meeting planner and the speakers bureau, Jennifer, and I said, hey, I'm on site, and they love that. And when I came down to go to the first session in the morning, event planners, they got so much stress. So I didn't have my name tag. They didn't have a name tag ready because I came in a day before I was supposed to, the signal didn't make it to the name tag maker. No problem. So I'm walking in, and it is a huge conference, like 1,000 people, and I got pulled over by the meeting police, the two securities. You don't have a name badge on. So they were cool about it. But I texted the event planner. I said, hey, I got pulled over by the meeting police. And she sent me an emoji, laughing, crying. So that's great. Relieved a little tension. They need some extra humor. So keep that in mind. You might be stressed about your presentation, but the event planner is stressed about the whole event. And you're just a part of that. So do what you can to become the favorite. Again, I'm here an hour and a half early. No one else is around. None of the other presenters. There's 3 of us training today. No one else is around. That's okay. You got to be there. You're 100% responsible, even though other people might mess it up. Even though other people might get in your way, unintentionally too. Doesn't matter. You're 100% responsible. So be there an hour and a half early in the meeting room, not just on the site. Let's see, what else? Other decisions. Yeah, real life story, the zipper on my luggage broke. That's one of those travel things. And fun. But hey, that's part of the business. I hear people whining because, I missed my connection. Guess what? That's going to happen. It happens every day. That's why I will only take a direct flight to an event. I'll take a connecting flight home. But even so, I want to make sure I'm also not on the last flight of the day. So if I do get bumped or something, there's a backup plan. And never ever fly the day of the event. Always the day before, and never at the end of the day, just in case. See, every decision, if you're going to be a pro, if you are a pro, you got to act like a pro. Sometimes AV doesn't work, so you got to be thinking ahead of time. What if this doesn't work? Oh, I'm going to freak out. Well, it's not cool. But at the same time, the show must go on. So you and I, 100% responsible. Every decision you make throughout the 48 hours prior needs to be thinking ahead what's best for the audience on that day. So again, don't do caffeine a day and a half. I thought it was a good plan, messed it up. But I knew that last night I had to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I never go to bed at 9 o'clock. But I knew, especially different time zone, which is even worse because then it's like 7 o'clock my time. But I knew that I had to make that decision based on what's best for this audience. So last night, 9 o'clock, I really wasn't quite that tired. But I turned on the TV to shut off my brain and just asked God for help. I'm like, I need to sleep. And I was so glad I did. 5 o'clock still seemed to come early this morning. Took me a while to fall asleep. But if I went to bed at 11, it might have been 12, and I would have had less sleep in me to be able to give energy. If you know me and my style, I exude a lot of energy. So for 3 90-minute sessions back to back, where it's just me, and not exercises and things like that, I actually asked them. That's also cool too. Sometimes you got to know the lay of the land. I asked one person, and they said, "Oh, you should do some live coaching." And then when I went to the event planner, she said, "No, too much." They're all the hires up. They don't want feedback in front of other people. And so she said, please don't. Okay, done. Shh, cross it off. She's the boss. I'm just the hired help. And we've got to adjust accordingly to all of that. So, hope that was a cool insight from the event site. And I know some of you watching, I know Kevin Spalding probably knows all this. But sometimes we also need reminders. As speakers, sometimes we're professional reminders. I know all the people that I'm in front of, they're getting media training. Thank you, Dwayne. I know they're getting media training, and these people give presentations all the time at the highest level. So I know I'm going to have a different challenge of getting them to really be open. But that's my challenge. I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. Tell your story, inspire by example. Please, you have a story, the audience needs to hear it. Inspire somebody. See ya.